Everybody, Ben here. I'm the Buell Club's personal trainer, and I'm coming to you with another myth busting video for the week. And as I said in the last video, this myth busting is going to be done regarding what you should get out of a personal trainer. Um, Now, this is a topic that usually gets me pretty heated up because I don't really enjoy entertaining uh, bad practice in this profession when you're dealing with people's wellness and their health. And I don't I don't really enjoy gimmicky stuff in this profession that's really just money grubbers. Um, I that stuff doesn't sit well with me. So, in order to keep myself on track and keep myself more focused and less irate as I talk, I made a list of 5 things that I'm going to cover. So, 5 general topics. First, we are going to talk about claims. So, you could, you can blink your eyes and see 10 new claims that some personal trainer is going to make, whether it's about diets or their perfect workout um, or their perfect habits or this, that, and the other thing. However, a lot of those claims are not evidence based, they're not realistic, and they're way overgeneralized. For example, a claim as in this 30-day ab challenge will have you with shredded six-pack abs, or this diet will have you lose 60 pounds in 2 weeks, or something like that. Um, if a personal trainer is going to make claims, it should more so be claims about application to individuals and not necessarily just trying to make the flashiest thing out there, that's going to get you to click on a few things and then end up having you reach into your wallet after a couple of seconds and or a couple of minutes, whatever. That's not necessarily how it should be done. And it's a good thing now with all the information out there on the internet and even on social media by some absolutely fantastic practitioners, um, that people can really fact check a lot of people in this industry, and that's a good thing, because it'll make sure that we're held to a higher standard. So some claims that somebody should be able to make is based off of this evidence. I can help you with this goal, and this is realistic. This is what's not realistic, and um, and if you are looking for this, I ex- I have an expertise in that. Here are some of the results that I've made with clients I've had, yada yada yada. Basically showing that no, they are not just gonna try and pull all the money out of your wallet that they can with their fancy, flashy claims made in videos where they're shirtless and showing you like, yeah, if you do this, you'll have fancy cars and you'll have a six pack and women will flock to you and crap like that. So claims should be realistic, evidence based, honest, and geared towards showing the good reputation and the honest reputation that the practitioner has towards customizing individual plans for individual goals and individual circumstances. Next is rationale. Um, a lot of the time, it seems like it seems like when somebody asks a question in the middle of a session, or they shoot a question over to a personal trainer via text or something like that, um, if you can kind of tell when somebody doesn't have all their ducks in a row with what they're having somebody do or something like that, when they give an answer that is not um, very accurate, or they just don't really explain their rationale at all. For example, I was reading an article and actually about a topic similar to this. This guy was making all these claims like, yeah, I squatted or I started squatting above parallel and my insulin sensitivity got reduced or increased, and it was like, what? And he started saying all these life hacks that happened because he started squatting above parallel instead of going all the way down in a full range of motion. That's a big like debate in this industry that, I mean, there's not really that much there to debate, but squat depth and depth of really any exercise is more so up to the individual's capabilities. Besides the point. Um, and when the person was challenged about this by a very reputable person um, in this industry named Lane Norton, if any of you guys follow him, he's the man. Go follow him, support his business. I've bought a few of his books. He's the man. Um, Lane Norton challenged the guy, and uh, all he did was ask for the guy's sources, meaning he asked for his articles that the guy was referring to, and the guy linked his personal blog. So stuff like that, while the guy's Instagram name did have doctor in front of it, linking your personal blog to another person who has a PhD in a health and wellness field is not good when the person asks for sources. That usually shows that the person doesn't have sources, or the sources that they have, they cherry picked. Um, Stuff like that is an example of somebody not able to explain their rationale rationally, and use the knowledge that they have in an ethical way. So a personal trainer should be able to explain their rationale to you when they're having you, the client, pay them to do things for them. Now, I'm not saying every answer is going to be absolutely perfect. However, if a personal trainer is having you do something in the session or at home with nutrition or something like that, they should have a good reason for having you do that based off of yourself, um, and not just, well, it worked for me and this, that, and the other thing. Next is self-coaching. This is kind of tougher to explain, but um, this one isn't so much against certain bad practitioners and unethical practitioners, but um, we should be able to generally coach ourselves pretty well. I believe the phrase "every good coach has a better coach," and I try to practice that myself. I actually just got a coach um, for my own strength training goals. Now that gyms are going to be opening soon, um, but but you should, as a professional in the field, you should be able to generally coach yourself with good confidence um, towards the goals that you have, simply with the knowledge that you have. You should be pretty intuitive about that. Um, and the other thing, too, there is that just because we can do that generally, that doesn't mean that we have everything all figured out. And this is the myth that I want to bust. So a lot of people kind of have this perception of personal trainers where we have our personal lives figured out, our social lives figured out, our physical like our physical challenges won and conquered, and our mental health is up here. But there's there's still a lot of real world challenges that we face, even though we're in the position to be coaching somebody towards their ideal version of their own health and wellness standards. Um, so like so an example of that would be for me, I throughout my college degree had a lot of trouble staying consistent training, and I had a pattern where as soon as uh probably depending on the semester, a month into the semester or 2 months into the semester or something like that. Honestly, I just I couldn't stay consistent in the gym, even though that is my outlet and it's honestly my happy place. Um, I couldn't stay consistent, and there was a lot of times where I chucked that out the window in order to fit something else into that time frame. And that's part of the reason that I got a coach so that I can have somebody to keep me accountable and a schedule to follow. And also, I just don't like programming for myself. So I like being able to have somebody else program exercise for me that I trust, of course, and um, that I will do um, full-heartedly. So I like having that now because now that I'm in a place where it's post undergrad degree, um, and kind of in between when I'm going for my master's and my PhD and my massage therapy license, um, I want to start myself with having a coach in place so that I can carry out a habit of accountability a lot better than I did in my undergrad. So self coaching is another topic that I wanted to address. Um, Next is scope of practice, and now this is kind of a gray area in a sense because if you get into the strength and conditioning field, most strength and conditioning coaches will have their athletes do prehab, meaning injury prevention type of exercise, and then their actual athletic training, their sport specific training, and athlete specific training. But if the athlete happens to get injured, then they'll also be a part of the rehab for that athlete or their recovery from injury. So that's something that the field is kind of moving towards for strength and conditioning. However, from a personal trainer's perspective, um, it's not always and a great example of this is medical nutrition therapy. For stuff like that, where somebody has a legitimate medical issue and they're seeking nutritional advice in case that could be something that would help, a personal trainer is not supposed to be subscribing or prescribing that to an individual, even if they are a nutritionist. Um, Honestly, anybody who's sat through a nutrition course could call themselves a nutritionist. Those people are not supposed to be prescribing nutrition. So that's an example of scope of practice that I don't want to say I often see overstepped by a personal trainer or somebody similar, but it's very, very common for that that line to be blurred, especially by people who aren't quite sure what to expect nutritionally from a personal trainer. That being said, um, more on the topic of nutrition, a personal trainer should be able to generally help you out pretty well with some nutritional advice, even though we don't prescribe it. So, um, so if somebody were to come to me with a weight loss goal, I should be able to help them with that, and I should be able to explain to them how it works, explain to them what I can do for them to set them up ideally, and then what they should probably do that is not going to absolutely just destroy their health. Meaning, I shouldn't tell them that they're gonna lose 10 pounds every week and lose 30 pounds this month or something like that. Um, it should be much more uh, safe and patiently based for things like that. Um, the last one that I wanted to talk about, excuse me, is specificity. Um, so a personal trainer should be able to have enough knowledge so that they can be specific enough in their coaching to where what they're coaching you with is effective enough to have you attain your goals in a realistic amount of time. And they should also be specific enough in their prescription of exercise to you, um, that how sorry, I'm kind of having a brain fog here. Um, their exercise prescription to you should be based off of an individual health assessment or an individual fitness assessment, similar to what I was conducting at the Buell Club before. Now, those health assessments and fitness assessments can change, but what the personal trainer does from that general step should be based off of somebody's health history, somebody's uh, current limitations. If somebody has like their arms in a cast or something like that, um, uh, it should be specific enough and not just a cookie cutter program that, oh, I scoured research for 1,000 hours and I found this commonality and this association and blah 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 blah, and this is perfect for anybody for this that and the other thing. um that is not really ideal, and that's more so uh tying into that claims, um, the topic of claims that I talked about in the very beginning. So I hope that kind of cleared up the air a little bit. If any of you were wondering what you should get from a personal trainer, in terms of specificity, you should get a thorough um, health and fitness evaluation via some paperwork, and if you need medical clearance, exercise history, and all that type of thing geared towards an individualized program specific for you to follow and hopefully best adhere to hopefully best achieve your goals. Um, and that being said, all of this stuff is things that I very adamantly believe in, and that was started day one for me, as a senior in high school, at my Votech, learning this stuff in sports therapy sciences at the Lebanon County Career and Tech Center. So I hope um, I hope if there was any fogginess about trusting a personal trainer or something like that, even somebody you're seeing on social media making lofty claims, or on like YouTube video ads or something like that Kino Body guy or something like that. Um, I hope it kind of cleared the air for you and made investing in yourself through this business a little bit a little bit more confident for you. So that being said, I will see you guys next week for the last myth busting video, because talking about myth busting makes me uh, pretty heated up, because I don't like it when people put myths out there when it comes to people's health and wellness. So next week will be the last one before we open up and go back to running the Buell Club. So I hope to see you all there, and I hope I can help you when I do see you. Thank you.